Today, we're going to be talking about how to play Magic. So first things first, let's talk about Post Malone and the Black Lotus. Just kidding, because we're talking about how to play Magic in Marvel Rivals, and I don't want any beef with Post Malone unless it's Wagyu. So let's get into it. Let's talk about Magic, an all-powerful character in Marvel Rivals that can really change the face of the game. Magic has superpowers. We're going to be going over this later. He can decimate the enemy team if the enemy team isn't prepared for her build. And even if they are, you just tell your team to counter some of the enemy team's picks, and things are going to be golden once again. So let's get into Magic. Let's go over first how she should be played, her counters, and what you need to look out for. So Magic is a really great character. She's really good at diving in, getting some kills, and then getting out. With Magic, you are a nimble assassin. You're diving in behind the enemy ranks, you're doing damage, taking characters out, causing havoc, and then getting out of there as fast as possible. Ideally, Magic is going around from an angle to get at the enemy team, and there's a support backing her up. Magic is squishy, but when she does attack, she gets health back, so she is not that squishy. With a properly placed support, she can do a lot of damage, wreak a lot of havoc, and even if the enemy team does manage to take her out, it's going to be at great cost to them, because they're going to have your team pushing in while Magic's wreaking havoc and taking the attention of multiple characters. One thing that Magic does need to watch out for is a team that is built around range. Magic is not a good character with range. Magic has to get up close. For instance, her main attack, her base attack, it can only go at about 6 meters, and there's a damage fall off to it. If you want to do her longer range melee attack, it's got this dash, that's 16 meters. Her melee attack, her range attack does go forever, but it's a little slow and it takes a while to recharge. Magic is not good with ranged characters. If you're facing a Magic and she's causing issues, go range. Also, if you can, fly. Because again, she's got that ranged attack here that she can charge up and throw, but that's about all she's got on flying characters. She can make that dash and do a few attacks, but again, she falls back to the ground and is pretty much rendered useless. So if you're playing Iron Man or Storm, that's a pretty good counter to Magic. But now let's get into how to play Magic and how to make the most of this character, because she is pretty damn awesome. So for her base attack, like I talked about before, you have a melee attack. It can work at a distance of about 6 meters, but the problem with this attack is that it does have a damage fall off. You're going to have a 50% decrease in damage at 6.5 meters or 6 meters out of 10. So what you want to do for your maximum damage is go into about 4.5 meters. So again, 4.5 meters, you're doing 65 damage. You go back to that 6.5 meters, and now you're only doing about 33 damage. The main thing to pay attention to here is you gotta be up close and personal. You gotta smell your enemy's farts, and you gotta make them smell them by shoving them right down their throat. And that's with your sword. So Magic, again, is a character that you're going to be playing up close and personal. You're not going to be standing behind your lines, but if you do find yourself having to stand behind the lines, you do have one attack that you can use. And this would be her Magic Slash. This would be her ranged attack. There's no real distance on this. This attack can go indefinitely. There's no drop off or anything like that, which is great. The attack does have a speed, which means it takes a little bit of time to hit its target. So you're going to have to lead all of your shots. Another thing with this attack is that you can charge it up. You can charge it up for 2 seconds, and based on the charge time, it will do 45 to 90 damage. 90 damage is pretty overpowered. You can take out DPS that's at half health from across the map fairly easily, especially if your team's focusing fire. But one thing that is worth noting is, again, it's a slow attack, but you can actually move while you're charging up. So she can charge and run, which is a really nice feature to have, because a lot of characters, when they're charging, they're just staying stationary. And I've seen a lot of early game or just sort of bronze level Magic players, they just sit here and they do this to charge up. That's not good. You don't want to do that. You can move. So hide behind cover, charge it up, then jump out and do your attack. If we're talking about combos with Magic, there's one other thing that we've got to go over, and then we're going to get into some pretty sick combos that you can do. And this would be Magic's dash. This would be her E. With the dash, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be hitting your enemies, and when you hit them, they will not be able to do any attacks because they're going to be thrown up in the air. So this is nice. Basically, what you're doing, you're hitting your enemy. They're not going to be able to get away. You do some damage, and then you can hopefully get the kill. This is Magic's bread and butter. Like this is the thing you should be using, her E, because what it does is it causes enemies to not be able to move, which is pretty dang awesome. So the way this works is, like I said before, you can go up to 16 meters, dash an enemy, you hit them, they go flying up in the air,
Enemy ahead of
and while
us.
they're in the air, they are pretty much stationary. So even if a character is moving, like everybody always jokes because everybody goes to practice rangers to do these videos, and it's like, yeah, you're shooting at a bot that's not moving. In this case, if you connect with your E, you get to shoot and attack a bot that isn't moving. And you can do a
Too
good bit
easy.
of damage with this attack. So the ideal way that you're going to be running it with Magic is either A, you're right in here. So you can do your melee attack, do your E, hit the bot up, then you can throw your range attack and do another melee. So let's just go
One
over that
more
with the
for the
character
soul
that's
sword.
fully healed up because that character died a little bit too soon. I'm not going to even call him heroes because these things aren't heroes, they're bots. Literally. So again, what you want to do, melee attack, E, ranged, melee. It's a
Too
nice combo
easy.
that'll do a good bit of damage. You combine that now with Magic's Shift, and you can use that to get in and get out of a scenario without really taking too much damage or taking too much risk. So let's cover the shift here, the dash. Also for the E, it does 85 damage. I don't know if I covered that. Now, the shift, this is one that doesn't really do any damage, but it does have some pretty nice things that come with it. So during her shift, she goes through two portals. While she's in the portal, she is invincible. So if someone's charging up an ult, a shot's coming, if you're really good with your timing, you can just shift through those portals. You've only got about like under a second that you're in these portals, but if you time it right, a lot of ults are going to miss. It's also really great for throwing your enemy off because you can just jump into a portal going any way. So look at that. You can jump into a portal going forward. A lot of people won't do this unless they're really good players. You can't really do it. I don't think you can do it backwards, but you can do it sideways. See that? Nice little sideways portal right there. You don't see a lot of Magic players doing that, but she can do that. So if you can combine it like this, and you can just get that portal off when people aren't really paying attention, they might think you're still going back,
Hostiles coming in fast.
when in reality you went to the side. And that's a really good way to escape from players, especially like you get behind their back, to portal off to the side, they're turning around, they think you portal forward, you're out of there, and they don't even know where you went. It's a really great thing to use with the portals. A lot of people do miss that. Also with the portals, you have a little devil that you can drop, a demon that you can drop. This demon's going to do, I think it's about 20 damage. It lasts for 4 seconds. It attacks pretty steadily, and it's really good if you're running away from people who are chasing you. Drop it in a corridor. They're going to be stuck with that demon attacking them. It can be a little annoying, do a little bit of damage, and maybe just get you that kill if you need it. Also, when you go through, Magic does have this whirl attack. It's about a 6-meter range, 5-meter height. It's a decent attack if you're jumping into the middle of the enemy team. It's not going to be doing a ton of damage. It only does about 45 damage. The nice thing with this attack is you're attacking a huge range of characters. So if the enemy team's retreating, a lot of them are low health, it's really nice to sort of jump in there and do that whirl.
Come, my minions.
You can also combine it with
Hostiles
something
coming
like
in
this.
fast.
You can do a dash, a shift,
Got you.
and then a whirl, and it's pretty nice. Or drop your demon. I accidentally hit the wrong key. But a dash, a shift, and a whirl are really nice. Again, like dash, shift, whirl, you can cover a lot of ground pretty quickly, and then you get into the middle of the enemy team that's retreating, do your damage, and now again, maybe your E's charged up, your melee's charged up, you can start going off on these characters. And when you're going off on these characters, a really nice thing to note, your health is actually charging up. So you can see right here, look at my health with every attack. It
Fight
goes
to
up
your soul.
and it'll keep going up. Your health will keep going up. This is where Magic really excels. If she gets into the middle of an enemy team, she can just start doing damage on one hero, get him out, go to the next hero, because every time she's doing damage, she's charging herself up and she's becoming more powerful and harder to kill. If you're going around into an enemy team and you have a good support on you, you're gonna get getting healed up, and with every attack, you're getting health, which means that she is an
That's why they
over,
call me Magic.
extremely
Enemy ahead.
overpowered character. You've basically got a character that's charging their health as they're doing attacks while they're being healed. It is a combo that is very hard to beat. And that's why Magic's so
Survive
powerful. If
this.
you got a squishy character, she can take them out with just a couple hits. And then those hits charge her up so she can move on to the next character and take them out with a few more hits. And every time she does that takedown, every time she takes someone out, she stays or gets harder to kill. And that is awesome. Now, let's talk about her ult because this is important. This is one I see a lot of people misusing. Not abusing, just misusing. You should be abusing it, but you shouldn't be misusing it. So first off, let's do ult. She transforms into this cool looking demon. One thing to note is if you had any abilities that were not in use or were like charging up, they're all going to reset. So it's nice to get that. Also, all of her attacks are going to do a lot more damage, so she becomes a lot more powerful when she is in her ult. Go figure. You're going to also notice there's a nice little health boost here. So again, you can see those abilities pop. She can still drop her demons, still do her whirls, and now she's just doing more damage with every attack. So when you go into this ult, you should be doing as much damage as possible, using all your attacks, then you transform back and you get all those attacks back. So what you should be doing, use up all your attacks, ult, use up all your attacks, you can transform back, use up all your attacks. You get a really nice combo there. And when you transform, do note though, you can still move while you're transforming, but you are not invincible. The enemy team's going to see you transforming, they're going to start to target you, so you do have to be careful if you're trying to do this in the middle of somewhere. When I do it, I like to just step off to the side real quick, like I'm taking a pee break, transform, and then go at it. If you know you're going to transform back, if you used up all your attacks, sometimes it is best to step off to the side. A lot of magics, they run out of steam here, they'll start transforming back, and that's when they're killed because they've taken all this attention for a second, roughly. They are all of a sudden vulnerable to everything, and they can't fight back. They can't dash, they can't do anything. They're very easy to kill. So again, be careful with that ult. Make sure that you're positioning yourself to use the ult and get out of the ult. But if you do that, it is going to be an amazing experience with this ult and overall an amazing experience with Magik because he can really shred through characters like no other. If you're dealing with supports and DPS that are way too overpowered, Magik is the character to take them down. Just be careful ranged, and be careful characters that can get away pretty quickly. If a character's stuck running from her, Magik can take them out no problem. If you're dealing with Spider-Man, you gotta hit with that E and you gotta do the damage right after you hit. Otherwise, good luck. Best regards. If you got any tips or tricks that I missed, because there's a ton I did, post them down below in the comments. I appreciate every single one of you. Until next time, peace.